Well, this is, looks like everything's running pretty well. Even though it's just a still image. It's not like there's much to process for the stream, but looks like it's handling everything pretty well. Yo, welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. Kind of wonder if I should use a different web browser for the stream chat, because Chrome really eats up the data a lot, or at least the memory. Brave. Or I could actually just look at my phone too, but well, we'll see. If Chrome eats up the stream, then I'll just close the pop-up and just use my phone. But yeah, let's I guess we should get started. So I guess I'll kind of give a rundown on what Otto is. So Otto is an atmospheric Eastern-themed sword dueling game. So it's got a very clean art style. It's very has a strong emphasis on the environment in the game. So when I go about playing the game, you'll see it's very again, I don't like you reusing the same word, but atmospheric is probably one of the best ways to describe it. You got vegetation like trees and grass and such blowing in the wind. So I'll run through it as we play the demo, but hopefully my mic quality isn't too awful. It's looking pretty good though. Yeah, I guess we should get started. Bum, ba, bum, bum. Let me know if the in-game audio is too quiet and I can raise it. Audio is good. So, for those who don't know, this game, I ran an Indiegogo campaign to raise money for the publishing costs for the game. So, I was able to hit it, which is awesome. But now we're gonna... I'll kind of run through the next steps in the future. But right now, development's still going, and plenty of content that you won't see in this demo is in the works, but yeah, let's do it. Play as a cat in this game. So there's not much for me to say. I almost feel like the game can kind of speak for itself, but as we get a little further, you'll start to see the other aspects of the game. I mentioned sword dueling, and you'll definitely get a glimpse of that a couple times. This scene used to be very different, because actually the game you weren't the husband of the child and you were just some random guy. So even the intro's changed a handful of times as well. This is actually the first game I've made that uses vertical parallax. Like in Frog Hop, one of my earlier platformers, I used like horizontal parallax, but when you move the camera up and down, I never had it adjust its vertical space. You can see here the background's moving up and down like that. It reminds you of Bastion. I can hear that. It's because this is Bastion. It is weird playing this because some of the stuff has changed a little bit. Not a whole lot, but it has been tweaked. So yeah, actually, this dash move too has been changed up a little bit. I mean, it's still functionally the same. It's just there's little adjustments that have been made as well. At least visually, like the. I really need to get myself new headphones because I tried switching to headphones instead of speaker just so you wouldn't get the echo in the audio, but I think that my headphones I'm using are like 10 years old. Actually, I found a lot of people don't find this one, which I need to adjust this hidden wall a little bit more. Yeah, this one right here. Yeah, I'm probably gonna try to imply like a walk through wall a little bit earlier. It'll probably be that room that does that split, the one before this one. The one before this one, that's funny. Yeah, the current one is very different. The reason why I'm not playing is because I don't want to. There's no telling what kind of issues are going to come up if I play it versus the this already stable version, and fairly stable. I haven't heard anyone say there's anything broken though. Oh, this also is different. I wish I could pull stats on how many people were able to figure out this mechanic. So we'll see. I've adjusted a little bit more. I'm not sure how good of a job I've done, but it's like mostly what game development is just like you thought you finished coding something and then you gotta redo all the work again because you found out people not redo everything, but you have to constantly tweak, which honestly is probably going to happen a lot once I hit beta. So the game's coming along really well. It's just right now there's still a lot of content left, and what I want to do is make it fairly playable and from start to finish, and just see what bosses were really annoying and that so on, because even the bosses in this demo are very different from what they were formerly. It is weird playing this because I'm like, there was like one time where a bunch of friends just kind of played through this game and everyone was just like freaking out because they die like even to the first boss a handful of times. So it's just fun. It's just funny to me how like I'm able to beat that boss fairly easily, but I'm not looking to play test my own game though. I really need to. I prefer seeing what feedback other people have to say versus my own. I almost feel like it's almost impossible to gauge if your game is like the right difficulty if you're playtesting it yourself. Like for me that fight was easy, but for some other people it's like really hard. So yeah, it really does depend on the testers. Is it a Dark Souls or is it an Assassin's Creed? Yeah, it's really tricky. I'm not sure 100% who my audience for this kind of game is. I mean, clearly it's clicking with more people than my other games, but I feel like it's kind of hard to do unless you're like doing like a clone game. But sometimes it's really obvious when like we've seen indie games that very clearly are like inspired by Dark Souls or plenty of roguelikes. I feel like the roguelike audience is very easy to appeal to because it's pretty obvious in a way, like what kind of a game it is, and people already kind of have an idea what they're getting into. I guess it depends. I mean, I could make like a Doom clone, and it'd be pretty obvious who the audience is for that. That's a tricky deal, because I thought I knew who my audience was with my previous game, Nameless, but that game is... I don't know. That game is an anomaly. I have no idea who that audience is. I'm sure they exist, but I'm not sure who it is. It's a very weird game. Whoa. There's a hidden passage in that one. Yeah, I try to hide little clues. I'm probably gonna end up adding a map though once like near the end of development, because I know there's gonna be players who want to like collect everything, and so because it's fun to collect everything, especially when you're hunting it down on a map. Oh, for a second I thought that I had an audio issue because I guess the left side of my headphones don't work. The audio in this game does use panning, so if you're stereo, you can hear the sword slash on the right, and then you'll notice it if as this goes on. Yeah, it feels weird playing these bosses right now because I've just done these little adjustments, so it's... Got a twofer. I think I fixed that issue with the rock spawning off screen like that. Maybe. I have to take a look. Whoa. Oh, thought I could have caught on the rebound. Yeah, hopefully this stream is gameplay is looking really good with that 60 FPS. I mean, I really gotta add, I need to add assets to this room. Some of the rooms in this game need a little bit more work with their, decoration, but I haven't gotten around to that. Vapor thrust. So I'm still trying to figure out other upgrades and stuff, but it's kind of nearing the list is starting to get pretty full. When I talk about some of a few of the new features that are in the game, I'll talk more about what's on my mind in terms of new stuff. The placement of these health pickups, though, have been definitely adjusted. Like, I feel pretty good about most of them, but some of them I've moved them around a little bit because I've noticed some players will explore certain sections and they just like end up not getting anything, and it's like, that's pretty. Yeah, that was really tight. Can't rate that one. Actually, I'm curious. Oh, I don't think so. Oof. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it resets when I hit the ground, so. No, yeah, it's limit of 2. I need to lower the base on the footsteps. I haven't gotten. There's so much to do. I haven't gotten around to like fixing little audio cues and stuff. What are my testers like, game experience wise? I feel like I don't know. It's really varied. I feel like part of the problem I'm still struggling with is finding that audience. I probably would go with like, I'm not looking for like extremely skilled like Dark Souls players, but I usually prefer to go for that mid-range skill. End of demo, but not the end of the stream. It's the 1 pixel jump reminds me of Maple Story. A doorstep in Kerning City. Doorstep in Kerning City. I don't know if I remember that one, but I know that game had some really weird like stuff like that where you're just spamming jump. Sweet. Cool, so that was the demo. So, I guess it's time I showcase some of the new stuff that's been added. Little features that are not in the demo. So let's get to that. Let's close that. Yo, welcome. Glad you can make it. Don't know why there's a baby there. Alright, so actually I don't know why I'm playing music. So there's a lot of stuff that's been changed and adjusted and tweaked. Mostly tweaked. I wouldn't say it's like complete changes, like the characters now they're, completely different. It's like, no, it's still, a lot of it feels very much the same. There's just a lot of little adjustments. Probably one of the biggest ones that happened was the sword clashing mechanics. So in this video, you'll see these sword clashing happen right there. I kind of neglected this near the end though, just I don't know why. I think I was really cynical about adding it because it I was worried it was going to promote spammy behavior, but it's actually extremely hard to time if you're like in hit range. So you'll see it happen once in a while, especially if you're both outside of each other's hit range. So right here, I'm trying to actually swing at the same time that he does, but yeah, I don't fail that there. So yeah, clashing. People seem to really like that sound effect, so. But I think my favorite aspect about the clashing that's going to be in the game is probably some of the tougher enemies where maybe they have like just a more dangerous melee attack. You can still challenge it with a clash, but there's also the case where their attack will still go through it and still hit you. So it's nice to have more options when I'm designing encounters, and just being able to kind of like let the bosses kind of freely express themselves a little bit. This is the other feature, is the Doodads. So originally when I design levels, I have to just place trees and bushes and grass in a very strict manner. But what's kind of lacking right now, and this is probably going to be done also very late in development, just because it's really tedious to do right now. But oh, I should probably answer any questions. Sorry. Very broad. Long range attacks maybe go through. Yeah, it depends on the like the type of move. I'll try to make it as like quote intuitive as possible. If you were to fight like an enemy with just an attack that like a giant sword swing or something, you could still try to fight it, but it'll still go through. So, yeah. Just depends, case by case. Anyways, yeah. The Doodads, you can see right here, there's I actually coded in like a really simple mouse cursor. But unlike just placing bushes and grass and stuff in GameMaker's room editor, instead I can actually move these around in-game. I'll have to look into making it also like save as an external file for all these like objects here. But the real reason why I'm doing this is to have more control in terms of the depth placement of Doodads. So right now it's a little tedious, but you can see right there the camera was moving and the tree was moving a little slower. Right here I'm actually scaling. I'm actually moving the block towards the camera, so you'll see the effect take place again. Like so. There it is. You can also adjust the rotation, the animation speed, so I can have animated doodads as well. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential with this. I just have a hard time feeling like I'm going to probably use it, just because at this moment it's really tedious to code this in, but it's neat. It's a neat feature. It's not really the biggest priority right now. I think most of the rooms in the game can get away with just the current doodads, the trees and stuff, but this will be nice if I wanted to emphasize the magnitude of some areas. If I wanted to make an arena a little bit more interesting. So this might look really dumb because you're seeing like this weird debug box and stuff, but the point is just to give you an idea of what I'm trying to accomplish. A star will definitely not be in the game. Yeah, actually placing these doodads with the mouse is actually really hard to do, because you saw me walk off screen like that. That was actually to try to place the star a little further to the right. So there's obviously some UX stuff. It's one of those things where I don't want to develop it too much, just because I'm just trying to get content going. But this will definitely be a thing. Super Auto Maker. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to accomplish it in this game, but I really want to try to make an in-game editor versus making it in Game Maker. So it is really annoying having to make adjustments. Instead, it would be nice to just save it as an external and work with it in game and just see my changes happen instantly. But anyways, yeah. Show a little bit of animation stuff. Here's a coin. Boing. So, I did mention ideas or things I was thinking of in the future would be some kind of collectible. I was thinking either it would be, this is more of just like an extra bonus thing where if you collect all of these, you get access to some really overpowered move. Maybe not overpowered, but something that's like, at least you worked hard enough to get all of them, you might as well get something awesome. Or I'd have like a really simple store. I probably am going to vouch for just the collect all of them and get the really awesome ability. But yeah, you'll see these in the final game. Coins. Yeah, if I did the store, the store's kind of neat, but I wonder if it might detract from like the experience. It might, just because I don't want to have too much UI on screen, and I'd rather just keep it really simple. So we'll see. Here's a sample enemy. Oh man, this animation. Oh no, now it's good. Just some of the enemies I'm working on. This one is still, it's still in rough phase right now, so I don't have anything to show right now. Actually, today I just spent some time importing the sprite art for all of this one of this enemy's art. Here's a little animation sample. Actually, let me get rid of these frames. It wouldn't play at this speed. Generally, when I import my sprites, like they don't play quite like this. I actually duplicate the frames a lot and will tweak their timings accordingly. So. And the reason why I would probably slow this down and adjust its timing is because, I mean, he covers such a big part of the screen, so yeah, that's just one of those things where it has to be adjusted accordingly. So speaking of long-range attacks, there you go. Your Austin H1, the long-range attacks maybe go through. This would certainly be a case where you could try to challenge it and you'd clash, but he would probably just win out just because, I mean, such a, the weapon goes so far. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about this enemy's art so far. We'll see. It's really shaky ground once you're adding a new enemy and you have to very carefully duplicate code and make them actually work, and then it's like usually it's not fun until I start tweaking it afterwards, and that's what's tricky, is trying to figure out the right patterns for a boss and not making them make them unique just enough, but also maybe try to teach the player certain things. So yeah, no, I don't want to save. So yeah, I like how this idol turned out. Sweet. Some of the music is also being tweaked. I'm working with another composer right now. His name is Chris, so he'll be helping out, improving some of the sounds of the music. So a big thing for me when it comes to video game music is oftentimes if you played those games where you play the original version and then they make a remastered one and they change the music, and some of the songs don't sound very good, or like they emphasize like a part of it that like kind of ruins the I guess the enjoyment factor of the original song. that's kind of a big thing. Is I'm working with him to have like really nice samples, but also not make it so different that it detracts from what like made the song sound good in the first place. So uh, here's one of the original boss fight songs. So that was the older version, and it sounded good. It's still, I like the feeling of it, but the goal is still to try to make some of the string instruments sound a little bit more realistic in some ways. So Chris sent me some new samples, and yeah, here's a sample of the new one. So. So, yeah, little things like that are trying to step up the audio game. I mean, the goal is make the song sound really good as is, and then add the improved sounds after, and really make sure it still retains that feeling that the original song had, but just make it sound better. So that's been fun collaborating with them, and it's also been an interesting experience for myself, just because I don't really work with people that much, so it's an interesting challenge being able to carefully describe the sound, or like what needs to be accomplished. I forget there's a stream delay, so I apologize if I'm like running ahead before I get to do anything. So let's see. So I guess I should show off a bit of the workflow that goes into Otto. So we're not going to show all of it, just because, let's be honest, game development is really boring to watch, and it's not really that exciting. So we'll just be doing something a little fun today. We'll just be doing some pixel art, and then some a little bit of particle effects. So it should be a little exciting a little bit more visually interesting to watch and commentate over, versus just code and hearing the sound of a keyboard clicking constantly. So this is a goofy animation I was messing with a little bit today. Let's actually get some audio going. Will this go into the final game? Probably not. Or maybe it will. I hope is the chat frozen? No. How do I time this? But I won't go through all this, just because it's again, it's still tedious in its own right, but I'll do the best I can to explain stuff as I go. So what I'm doing right now is I'm doing an in-between. So I have to carefully look at what's being changed and what has to be adjusted. So I have to do this. This is kind of one of those things where you can explain it as much as you can, but it does kind of become an intuition-based sort of thing. Like, for example, you see these 3 lines right here on his hat. So this is the starting position, ending position right there. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to move those 3 between it. So it's just stuff like that. That's what goes into in-betweening. I feel like it's fairly easy to understand an in-between, but a lot of what goes into this is very it's really what it boils down to is just keyframes. You just gotta have good keyframes. That's how I animate a lot of the sprites in my game, just good keyframes, and the animation will speak for itself. Hopefully hopefully it will, because by just doing the keyframes only, so for example, you see this jump right here, I'm only focusing on the keyframes. So as long as the keyframe looks good, and then sometimes I'll adjust the timing to make sure the just like the movement looks correct enough, then I start adding in between. So usually that's the process. Uh-oh. No one's kind of concerned no one's texting. Oh, whatever, it's fine. See, he's going up. So I gotta adjust that. This dance he's doing is based off of an old, technically it's like an old 90s meme, I think. I need to adjust that. And a big thing too is copying pieces from previous frames and just moving them over. That's another trick I use all the time, and it saves me an arm and a leg. But sometimes there's frames where you just have to just flat out redraw it because you just don't have anything to pull from. So I got here, I'm gonna do a subpixel here. Dun, dun. I might have to add more in-betweens, but yeah, and in-betweens. That's my process in general, is just keyframes, in-betweens, and then if I need to add more in-betweens, I do subpixel work. Let me see if I can find a subpixel example. Oh, right there. Here's a subpixel. So right there, you see how the hat kind of does this weird extra, like, section right here underneath, that's a subpixel movement. That's a simple example right there. So because it's impossible to go from between 2 pixels, you can see there's point 2, position 1, position 2. The in between will kind of blur the pixels and kind of add and remove it gradually. So you could theoretically have, I would say, 4 times the number of in-betweens. 4 times. It just depends on the size of the sprite, but you can add a lot of subpixels to an animation to make it like really smooth. Oh, sorry, let me check the questions. Has Neo helped with this game at all, being similar settings? Maybe. I kind of just play it just to, like, turn my brain off. It's a pretty chill game compared to, like, Dark Souls, unless you play the higher difficulties. Because that game is very different with, like, collecting loot. And this game is very not loot shootery. You know, it's very much... It's more like, I guess, Metroidvania kind of style. This pixels. This is here, here. What? Wait, what? Uh-oh. Messed up. Oh, I jumped it. There it is. I think I want to pull from that one, actually. So I'm going to duplicate this one. I'm going to move it back here. There we go. Actually, I can do the same trick again. So, copy, paste, and flip. And boom, there you go. Most of the work's done. There you go. Boom. Clean that up. So now I don't even have to redo the rotation right there. Move that up. That down. I'll just do a few more in-betweens because there's a lot of in-betweens that we need to go into this. So we won't do all of it because frankly it's not the most exciting thing to watch. Heard this song. I recognize this song. 2, 1, 2. Move that back. Now let's do this. Subpixel. Actually, we could do blur there. Yeah, we'll start from there. That's yeah, most of the time I'm literally just copy pasting frames. That's like 90% of what I do is just copy paste frames and fixing them. It is really weird seeing him his face rotate in other directions though, because you just don't see that very often. Can you fix the ground? This? That's bothering you? Alright. It's alright. Generally this ground section is not important. I actually like I used to animate with a ground sprite and then I would delete it later when I import it, but I don't know why I did it with this one. It doesn't really help, honestly. And I'd rather just use like a grid. Grids are really nice. It's another little tip. Brandon's top 5 pixel art tips. Use grids. Unless you're doing in-betweens, then they get kind of, it gets kind of messy. I copy paste that. Between section here. Let's move this here. Yeah, but I don't want to do this for too long because it's this really is not exciting to look at. I feel like animation's kind of one of those things where the process is it's fun to look at for like 5 minutes, and then after that all you care about seeing the results. So we're not gonna do this for too much longer. That's just my opinion, though. It's so weird to see his entire his face facing towards the screen like that. Bonk. I might just cheat it. I think I'm gonna cheat. Let's see. Grid helps with overall consistency. Yeah. It also it makes it so you don't have to so instead of having to just draw this like ground sprite, like sometimes I'll draw like a line and then like, oh, I'll do a rectangle like this, but it's just kind of, I don't know, the more I do it, like I used to work with like a flat color background, like a gray, like that, and then it'll make it a little easier to work with bright tones on your character, which sometimes I do. But the grounds, it's just kind of like, it's just like there, and sometimes when you're working, it just kind of, you accidentally pull from it when you're moving and stuff. So I prefer a grid sometimes, or just no grid, and I just use my intuition. And if it, because I'm already spending time with my hotkeys just flickering between my frames, and I'm already gonna see like, oh, his foot goes up by 1 pixel, just because animation's tedious, so you're just gonna do this all day, just looking at your frames. So, yeah, it's just it's what goes into it. This is frame. Is this the jump? Yeah, he's low right now, so I need to raise him. We'll do this one. So dun dun dun, and then raise him here. Boom, boom. It's all about consistency. That's really what it boils down to. It's just having good consistency with your sprite. Actually cheat right here. I have to fix the rotation. I think it messes up right there. Yeah, see right there. So yeah, it's just, this is literally all you're doing is you're just looking at your frames and you're tweaking them. So right there, the color flipped right there. So let's do that. Whoa, not that. See it right there? It messed up again. So to pull that. So blue's on the right, or our right, but his left. Dun, dun. There you go. So now it's correct. So that's what goes into it. Keep tweaking. Keep twerking. This is... we need to move him here. Move his frame here. See that line it's moving over, so I gotta fix that. It's all intuition. Again, like, it's just, you just do it so much that you just kind of know where to put your frames. And if you don't know what to do, there's always references. You know, you can always just go online, and there's already thousands of free pixel art sprites being ripped that you can easily pull from it and just kind of know what needs to be changed and so on. See right there, his cheeks, missing fur right there. Add a little in between subpixel there. His head needs to rotate. Let's see, is it 2? I think I do. Okay, I see it ends on that. So I gotta, yeah, his face is messed up. Here, let's try that. Oh, that looks bad. Subpixels right here, so I'm not gonna, right here you see there's subpixel work. That's position 1. Position 2, you see how these 4 are here? None. So what I'm doing is I'm gradually building up. So see, 0, 2, 4. So it's, I'm not saying, what I'm actually doing, I'm not even saying it out loud, but that's the idea of subpixels. It's a very powerful technique. That's how you get the most out of your animations if you want to make it smooth. Right. We're almost there. We can probably pull this one, duplicate that, cheat it, flip. We have to fix the colors here. Not that hard. Fix that line. Make a line. Make a line. Only some will get that reference. Or no, it's make a lane. Make a lane. Yep, right there. Let's flatten this sprite. Actually, his hand is back and then forwards, so we need to do something like this. Let's do this. Pull that back. Don't need to do too much. That's the nice thing about this art style, is it's not super intense in terms of like shading and stuff, so I don't have to make everything like super like perfect. And it's not like people are gonna stop on the animation frames and like look at everything. So torque that pixel. Yeah, you got that reference. Yeah, that's from Tim and Eric, I think. Make a lane. Oh no, I messed that up. It needs to go down. Some people use onion skins. Onion skins are great. I don't use it because in graphic scale it's a real pain. Like right here it works pretty good. The problem with graphic scale is it's only good if you have an empty frame. So oh, it's not even working here. This is why I don't. Oh man. Yikes. Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, I don't use onion skins that much. It's just they're, at least because the way they work is very oh, this is from Nameless. Yeah, it's not working on my computer. But the idea is you would see two transparencies and you would draw them. But honestly, it kind of hurts my eyes when I look at in between onion skins, so I don't do onion skinning. It's useful for some. Yes, it just hurts my eyes like looking at this because the light gray just kind of fades into the white, and it's a hit or miss for me. And I prefer just kind of eyeballing it. So I'm just gonna in between. Music is really good though in Nameless. I give that game a lot of crap because it's just one of those anomaly games that's like really hard to figure out who its audience is, but I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm just gonna blob it. Yeah, it looks a little distracting seeing the hands. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's a little fast right here, so what would ideally happen is you see when he starts his rotation, so he's down low, he gets up, 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 and then goes down again. So I would need 3. I would need to add essentially, that's like basically triple the number of frames here. So that's why I don't really want to do that unless people really want me to sit through it and do more of that. We can, but it's not terribly exciting. But I hope. Oh, I gotta fix his shoes. Shoes. His I don't know what they're called. Those blocky Japanese shoes. I think it's looking good. You see there's a lot of cheating. I cheat all the time with animations because people aren't going to sit through and look at every single frame. So as long as the motion looks good, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. Or if you don't have a lot of frames, just only have good keyframes. So, or if you have all the time in the world, go ahead and make the most perfect animation, and you'll probably hopefully get the recognition you deserve if you put all that effort into making the frames look really good. I could actually blur that here. Actually, oh no, okay, that's actually decent. Yeah. This is actually shoe would go up here. Up there. Raise this shoe up here. This is right, so his left goes up. Yeah, see now it's looking, you see his feet are lifting as they should, because this is his right, now left. I think it would be here. Yeah, there we go. So that's better. Yeah, really tedious, but that's that should give you a bit of an idea as to what goes into the pixel art. So I'm not going to go any more further into it because, frankly, what I just said would just be repeated for another like maybe like 20 minutes of doing this, more minutes of that. So I'm not gonna bother with that. But that hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight as to what goes into the animation. Obviously, this wasn't like an attack move or anything like super important into the game, but it'll kind of give you an idea as to what tricks I use. Yeah, there's just a lot of in between work, so I'm gonna close that. Anime, that's how you anime. Let's see. Okay, so we'll do something a little flashier today. So particle effects are a thing in the game. Oh, hopefully it's running okay. This might look kind of small on your screens, but hopefully, yeah, I can't make this bigger. That's an anime betrayals. Otto is an anime. So particle effects are a new thing I've been using in Otto. It's probably the first game I actually have seriously been trying to. Though technically a game I made called Rocket Launch was the first one. But I don't know why I never really used them, but particles are very powerful. So this is how it starts. It starts with this ugly black or red circle, and then I gotta fix it. So we choose our sprite. You can use these presets. But you can also make your own custom sprite. So you see it can load a sprite, and I can pull an image that I want, I could pull that coin sprite. I could pull anything I want pretty much. And I don't think there's a size limit, but we're just gonna stick with the pre-builts. Sphere's alright. I'm gonna use a flare. Yeah, flare looks pretty good. In this case, let's see. I need my, where's my work list? I need my work list to know what I'm doing. Let's scatter, glow, and aura. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so the scatter effect. So we're gonna do like a little like explosion. So let's pick our color. The color is kind of a jade kind of color, so we want this. You like to randomize and see what effects show up. That's, I mean, that can work. Nothing wrong with that. It's fun in its own way. That looks pretty good. I like that transition of color there. Let's also fade its alpha. Actually, what I'm going to do is go to 3 steps, and then go 0, 3, purple. So going from green to blue. Having good sense of just like having an idea of how to like go from one color to another. So notice how it starts from teal, like a teal to like blue to purple. It's all, I mean, a lot of it's intuition. I keep saying that, but it's just like you just kind of eyeball, and if it looks bad, just fix it. I don't know. Yeah, so this program is called Particle Designer. It's just a program that lets you visually see what you're working with, unlike GameMaker. Because if you actually were to just straight up make particles in GameMaker, it's actually a real pain. Versus this makes it a lot easier, because you don't have to recompile and wait for your changes. You just do it right here, which is amazing. Who created this? It's worth giving them some credit. Alert Games, 2012. Yes, this is made in 2012. It's the last iteration, but it works. It still works this day, and it's great. It's an excellent program. It'd be nice to learn how to use other stuff like these, a tractor. Ooh, hopefully the audio's alright. Let's see, so we're gonna do... Oops. So it starts kind of fast, and I'm gonna do is slow it down a little bit. 0.01. So still needs to slow down a little faster. Let's actually vary the speeds a bit. So let's go with like a 4. Increase the slowdown, like 0.1. I like the depth rate, so I'm going to stick with that. Actually, let's tweak that to 40. In terms of GIF export, I don't think it does. Yeah, you're just going to have to use like our screen capture software. Let's see. Kind of like that speed, but let's increase it a little bit more. Yeah, no, yeah, I like 0.1, just so it keeps cruising, but it'll still slow down very subtly. I might increase that to 2. Yeah, it looks better. I like that. Should I make it increase 0.01? No, I think maybe decrease 0.005, 4. Start with a size of 0.4. But this is actually pretty similar if you've used After Effects. After Effects has a particle sim. That's a little too fast actually. 0.05. So it's looking pretty good. You can do a lot of crazy stuff. Like you see, you can add wiggles, like a wiggle. So for example, I can do like 0.2. See how it's flickering? Actually, ooh, that looks pretty good actually. It's kind of like a firework. Yeah, it's really useful if you want to do like fireworks. See how it's flickering? That's actually very pretty. Yeah, I might stick with that actually. Happy accidents. Same thing, can wiggle here. It's kind of hard to see here, but it's rotating quickly. Actually, that looks pretty good. I like that. So I'm going to save that. Let's name this PFX coin get. And we need to export our GameMaker file. Same thing. Let's Let's see, coin scatter. We're just gonna coin get. Coin glow. So we need a glow effect. So I like what we got going on here, but we need to adjust this a little bit more. So we're gonna. So that looks really pretty. But we need like a very subtle effect where it's just kind of emanating an aura. That looks really pretty. Yeah, so you can see there's a lot of power here. You can do a lot with particles. Might slow that down a little bit. We're not making something that's exploding. It's a little too many there. Stacking too many. That looks pretty good actually. We don't need the wiggles. We're gonna turn that to 0. Looks really pretty. Gonna do a light green. Raise the brightness a little bit. The goal is to make this a little more subtle instead of like just making your eyes bleed. Yeah, see that's a little too much right there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So this will be like that coin I showed. This will be kind of like the glowy aura. I need to lower that alpha a little bit more though. It needs to be like subtle, like sweet. Yeah, I like that. So we call that PFX coin aura. Looks good. Sweet, I like that. And then we need a, well, that's the glow. Oh, I see. It's the glow. Maybe I'll call that, Usually I call it aura. I should have called that glow. Whoops. We can rename it. Let's call this coin glow. And I'll rename it as aura later. So we need the pieces again. So I'm going to go ahead and reopen that other one we just had. PFX coin get. Let's see. Test stream. There's a lot of crazy stuff you can add in this that I still don't know much about. 5. Yeah, there's a thing called attractors. Apparently this is supposed to do something, but it's not. Yeah, I don't fully understand attractors or these other little effects, but they're a thing. If you know how to use them, then great. I still can't figure out how this works. Changer. Ooh. Oh, interesting. Need you 2. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out myself, but it's not working. GMS rework of particles. They still work for me, so I haven't had an issue with them. It's really, I wonder why it's not the deflectors. Oh, I don't know. I legit don't know. They're not working for me right here, so I guess that's a good way to discourage not using them. So, alright, particles. So, yeah, aura effect. Now, we don't need to make it wiggle because it's not like an explosion, so. 0.01. It's a little too fast, so we gotta slow it down. 0.5 looks pretty good. And then maybe like 3. So these are like the tiny little particles that'll come out. What happens if we speed it up a little bit? Yeah, that's a little much. Like 0.1. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. You'd think they'd work on the program even if they don't work when imported to GMS2. Yeah, I mean, think I'm doing it right. Like I create it, and there's a region, and then it's. I would assume it would pull it, but it's not doing anything. So there's potential, but I guess they don't work so anymore. So yeah, no dice. Yeah, I like this song. Dun, 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 na, 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 dun, na, na, na. Obsolete functions. Particle. Oh, well, there you go. Thanks for looking that up. Yeah, changes. That's unfortunate. It would be nice to. I think the biggest issue I've run into right now with particles is, let's say you want to make Metroid, right? And you got that little blaster. What if you want to make it so you can free aim, like in literally 360 anywhere you want? At least with this program, you can limit the direction, but like see, well, not that. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Let's see, like 0. So here, see how I'm able to make them go one direction. If I want to make it change direction, I think I'd have to change this. So there are ways around that with code, but it's still really annoying. But yeah. So there's little things like that. Like it would be nice if there's a little more power in terms of like making the particles like bounce off of objects, or like just do a lot of more crazy stuff. I'm still learning how to utilize particles more. And I have a feeling by the end of this game cycle, I'm probably gonna like learn a lot more to the point where it's like, man, I wish I did so X and Y, but I didn't. I'm feeling okay about this effect. It's still a little much. If I lower that brightness a little bit, 0.7, speed that up. Yeah, it's a little too fast. 1.5. It's gonna be on top of it, so I think that looks alright for now. Yeah, we'll stick with that. PFX coin ARA, and then export as a GameMaker language file. Boom, close that. We already saved them as a external file. So I guess I'll just very quickly show my game work file, so you can kind of see what goes into it. Importing is very easy. It's almost like intern work. It can be tedious though, depending on what it is you're importing. For example, that enemy sprite I showed, importing him can be annoying because the way I handle animation timing is a little questionable, but it gives a lot of power. It's basically I'm constantly duplicating and removing certain frames to make his animation timing better. And the only reason I do that versus coding it and like having a very intricate animation system is because it's very hard to iterate. And so by just changing the timing with the GameMaker 2 sprite system, it's just a lot easier to adjust the timings. And also, it's not really taking up any more of the texture page is what they call it. So the texture page is just a resource that holds all of your sprites together. It's like just this giant library. But if you duplicate frames, it doesn't add any more to it. So that's kind of why I liberally use it. I abuse the copying of frames. Might make some coders cringe, but it's worked for me so far. So we'll see. Alright, let's get our particles. So we called it PFX coin get. So we got our GameMaker language files. Drag them in, boom, there you go, done. Well, not really. Actually, I have to name them and stuff, but there you go. So I got to initialize them. So that they are PFX coin get, coin glow. coin get. So we got to put them in our initiation scripts. So we'll do that. Boom. Copy paste. Boom. Copy paste. Boom. This is like brain dead work. Name my file correctly. So pt coin get, because it's a particle effect. Boom. Do it again. Replace. This is literally intern work. Anyone can do this. This is not hard. Just gotta have good naming conventions and you're done. But this is a part of the process. Same thing. PT coin ara. Place. Boom. Done. There we go. Now we got to make sure to destroy them for later so our memory doesn't get all messed up. Boom. Done. Copy paste. You know, this is just one of the areas of tedium that at least I currently haven't figured out a way to avoid it. Actually, there probably is a way, because everything is you could probably address all these scripts with a number, but it's like, am I going to spend a few hours doing that, or am I going to spend a few hours getting a boss done? It's like, well, probably the boss. Makes some people sad, but that's what goes into it. But yeah, I'm not going to import that dance sprite because technically it's not done because its timing is off with its lacking its in-betweens. But there you go. That's just a taste of what goes into importing sprites. I can actually show what I was talking about with the animation timings. So I animate all my frames. When I import them, I animate them on ones at 60 frames per second. So instead of just, let's say, I'm just gonna take this animation, I'm gonna slow it down to whatever value. Like, this looks awful. Like there, that looks terrible. So the reason why I do it on ones, where every single frame takes a frame on 60, is it just looks, to me, it looks better and much tighter. Because I've seen some games where they'll slow down the animation, and it depends. For me, like, it's okay when it's like a cutscene because there's not much to do. I heard this song before. I think we're getting to that point, but we're getting close to the end. Yeah, so like just doing it like that is really it works well for cutscenes, just flat out slowing it down. But for me, when I feel like I'm fighting a boss, I want there to be really nice, quick animations that are very like just good, quick movements. Like that blur right here, that would not be possible if I just flat out slowed the animation down. But now you're thinking, why not just code a system? But it's like, I'm not gonna do that. That's too much iteration time. So just doing it here and copying frames makes it a lot easier. Which this display is not quite capturing the full 60 FPS goodness, but that's kind of the idea. So by just looking at this and seeing the timing versus guessing, makes it a lot easier. Now, of course, I could make an animation system in game and tweak it, but that's dumb. It's just like, why? So this is much faster. So that's what I was talking about, animating on ones. This hitbox, like I have this hitbox here, so there's this hitbox. I adjust the shape accordingly. So that's just a little taste of what goes into the importing. You'd work on the script, so that's probably why I don't finish games. Well, yeah, it's just kind of like, yeah, if I had all the time in the world and had like no pressure, I probably would spend more time with like having a system and like all this really beautiful like in-game editor stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's just get it done. That's all that matters, at least to me. I mean, some coders. I mean, I do think some effort should be put to make sure you have a decent foundation. Like, none of this would be possible if I didn't at least put the effort to make like a good system to handle the checking the animation frames for whatever and stuff. But like creating a damage hitbox and stuff. But I just feel like there's got to be a balance that has to be met. Otherwise, you're just spending all this time on back end, and it's like, well, it's almost like you're not making a game, but you're just kind of, I don't know. It's almost less of a game and more of like a application or something. That doesn't make much sense, but I just kind of, I care more about making actual content versus spending too much time on the all the intricacies. I'm gonna close that. Dun, dun, dun. So we got 2 more things to show, and then the stream we'll probably close the stream. So might as well show what this game started off as. The super secret awesome stuff. Well, kinda. It's I'll show the old versions of the game. Only a very few number of people have seen it, but this game didn't start off with pink cherry blossoms and grass and stuff. This is the very first version. You can see it looks very, the animation looks really amazing, and the attack is very fitting, just artistically. But when I started this game, this was actually made during Nameless, like near the end of Nameless's development cycle, because I was just curious about time scales. So you can see at the top left here, there's a global.timescale. I've heard from coders that you should never use a coefficient for your timing stuff like this, but I decided to because I mean, if I've grown up playing Valve games like Team Fortress and Counter-Strike and they use timescale, it's been like, well, it's pretty intuitive, so I stuck with it. But you can see here this test how there's, well, you kind of saw how there was like freezing happening. So this game was really more of an experiment to see like what goes into doing hit stop, hit pause. You've seen it in fighting games where like you hit a character and then the game like just pauses for like a split second, or even slow-mo. You know, slow-mo's always cool. So it's tricky handling this sort of thing because you start to run into problems like particles, not timing and stuff, but it works. It gets the job done, and at least the active objects are affected by the time. So it's not delta time. It's just it's more of a hackishly done coefficient time scale. So, and then again, like people think the game starts off beautiful when I add new stuff, but a lot of times when I'm testing new features, there's a lot of placeholder work and a lot of glitchiness. So this is the dodge roll. It looks really good. I think it's, I probably should go back to this version. The animation looks great. This older version, this was just done as a test because I wasn't sure if I was gonna like the idea of a dodge roll. I think because originally I wanted to keep the game 2 buttons, but it just seemed like, actually I think this one was still 2 buttons, but you had to hold down and press jump to do this. So it's really quite a, it was a little different. Some people didn't like it, some people were okay with it, but I just changed the button to just a straight up dodge roll button. And the same thing's happening right now. I mean, there's a lot of new stuff that I'm testing out that looks really ugly, but it's turning out pretty good. Yeah, I don't want to. I think that's about it for what I have to show. But all right, let's do the final thing, which is the let's see. Let's close that. So I did hint at the final, well, what did I call it? The developer versus stream moment. So all you have to do is, if you have a Twitch account, you can start chatting, typing like text in the chat, and when I run the game, you'll be able to type in the commands that appear in the top right of the screen, and it'll do something. So basically, what the challenge will be is all I have to do is kill 2 enemies, but you guys can type in whatever you want, whatever the commands are, and to try to get me killed. So we'll see how this goes. Let me prepare this. 1 second. Yeah, you'll see. We'll do a couple of just tests, but that's the idea. So we'll see who wins. Oh boy, 1 second. Oh, that's not right. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. It's not oh, why is it doing that? Okay, that's better. Boom. So the commands are on the top right there. This is... Oh, there it is. Oops, the audio... Okay, I was worried my audio wasn't working. Jin. Oh, there he is. Oh! I think you guys get the idea. Ouch! Oh. Ah! You guys can spam a lot, though. Is all I'm gonna say. So. What? Ouch! Got one. He's unleashed the horn. Actually, it's really cool because the in game is also showing that you guys are the texting's going through. Ooh, double, double, double. What? What? You can double? Whoa, game glitched out. Well, I got 2. Might as well keep going. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can really go ham with this. Ah! Keep them coming. Ouch! Ah! No! Here, I'll restart and then you guys... Alright. Alright. Round 2. Technically, I won that one. But, alright. Let's see if I can kill 3. So, send everything. Send in all the ninjas. I gotta wait for the, there's a bit of a Twitch delay, so I gotta wait. Ow! Oh man, that one is hard to... Yeah, there's no ninja. There's no ninja. I wonder if I should have added him. Yeah, you guys gotta give me some goons. Ah! That one is dangerous. Oh, there he is. Oh man. Oh my god. I think there is a cap. Oh my gosh. I think there is a cap for the guard, but the I think Jin and the rogue. Wah! Oh, that was pretty sick. Wow, that was close. What? Ah! It is really fun to launch. Oh god. Dude, this is just chaos. Whoa! Oh, I got one. Ah! Dang it. Ah! I was trying to kill that rogue to at least get one. Alright. Woo! Alright, round 3. Let's this is the final showdown. Let's see if I can get 3. This is really cool. I'm really happy this is working. Wow, that was close. Oh man, I was just about to parry him. That guard makes it hard to Did I get someone? Nope. Oh my gosh. Ah! 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 Oh! I was close. I was close to killing one, but dang, that's hard. Yeah, you need to decrease the cap for the other enemies. That's hard. Once there's like 10, it's just like it's extremely risky to go for the parry. That was really sick. Hopefully, doesn't seem like anyone got banned or anything for doing that, which is good. Oh, there's my mouse. Whew. Sweet. Good deal. But yeah, that's a stream. Hopefully that was enjoyable. I don't think there's anything else to really talk about, but rest assured, there's a handful of new bosses there in the game. I am considering adding copy bosses too, because even just now, like fighting the some of the enemies again, but like in a group was pretty fun. So yeah, there's a lot of work. I don't know. I gotta work on the game more. It's just there's so much work, but sweet. But yeah, I think that calls it. Actually, oh, you sneaky son of a gun. Wait, all right, one more game, one more round. That was really fun. It's really fun. Probably one of my favorite moments in this is how you get to fight more than 2. I definitely got to do that in the future and when I do more content. As much as copy bosses are kind of lame, it is really fun. Ouch! The guard is interesting. The guard kind of becomes more of like a support, more than like an aggressive. I mean, it can get pretty aggressive, but it's really fun. Maybe I gotta add like a survival arena to this game. Whoa, that was close. Ah! The shockwave. Whoa! Do it. Oh! Just sprites being deflected everywhere. Wow, that was close. This is really cool. I don't think this will be in the final game, but because yeah, I don't know if there's a way to really plug in Twitch channel data. Just pushing him over. Oh. Oh wow, I can't believe I. Oh god. No. Come on. Come on. I can do this. I'm gonna. Oh man, that guy's too. Ah! I was hoping to get that guy. He started hiding behind them. Nice. That's awesome. Alright guys. That's the stream. But thanks for coming by. You could do it. You could have it as like a bonus you unlock after winning the game. Like it just adds to the main menu, then you can channel info in the settings. I don't know if that would be allowed because they need to get their like their channel ID and their I think their authentication code. But yeah, I really gotta look into this this stream interactivity stuff more because that was really awesome. It was kind of cool because it was almost like I didn't even have to code an AI to do like the spawning of the pacing. But that's really cool. Yep. Good deal. Thanks for coming, guys. I'll make sure to archive this, and I'll keep working on the game when I can. I think this coming week might be a little bit more of a chill week because I gotta go out for a while, but I'll probably chip away at the game when I can. But yeah, thanks for watching.